guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video, and as you guys can see, we got the GRs behind me. That means we are on another episode of working on the cars. As you guys can see, blue one in the last video, we kind of did install the front end as well as the gray one. The gray one is looking now complete. Like I said, both of the cars are getting closer to being complete. We have more parts in, as well as we got more updates on the cars. Huge amount of parts that came in, so it's good news for us. That means we can start working on the cars again. Let's go ahead and show you guys kind of the process so far, or the progress I guess so far of what we've done on the cars. Alright guys, so as you guys can see on the blue car here, we did actually in the last video, make sure you guys check that out, we did end up assembling the front bumper here. So you guys can see it's not really too, as you guys can see here, it's not really put on with clips or anything. Honestly, it is getting held on by 2 clips, but bumper is pretty, you know, it moves and whatnot still. It's not fully secured just because we actually do we were missing the crash bar, so kind of hard to show you guys on camera, but there's a crash bar that goes behind this obviously, and we did not have that in the last video, but thankfully we did get a huge amount of parts, and now we do have that crash bar and a bunch of other parts that will help us continue working on the build. Moving on to the gray car here, as you guys can see, this car finally is on 4 wheels. You guys can see here is the full suspension finally on the gray car. Did take some time, you know, we did have to wait for all the parts and kind of mess with the stuff or whatnot, but as you guys can see, let's see if I can get kind of in there a little bit. Full suspension finally on. As you guys can see, rotor, caliper, also big quarter panel right here that will need a lot of work. And yeah, so this car pretty much is looking complete. So I didn't really get to film any of the process of rebuilding the wheel. I know I did kind of leave you guys a little on a cliffhanger when I was putting on the, what was it, I think I was swapping over the e-brake cables. I kind of realized that I was lagging it, so I kind of pretty much just stayed up pretty much later in the day, and where we couldn't really vlog and pick up the camera. Also, it was the suspension side, so it was a little harder, as you guys can see. Pretty much like trying to stick the camera in here. I do apologize for that. I didn't really get to vlog it, but I mean, at least it's now more complete. And this car, I've been trying to vlog as much as I can. Like I did say, I am here alone, so it is kind of hard to give you guys some more of the better angles or whatnot. We do have a part right here, and you guys can probably see on the inside here, we have so much parts. So you guys can see we got the trim piece, under panels, got a lot of stuff in there, as well as the back right here. Got a lot of stuff to unbox for you guys. Just show you guys right now this. I actually did get these used, so they are open already, but if you didn't guess already, they are the side markers. Not sure which side goes on which, but that looks about right. There you go. So if you guys do remember, the bumper, we didn't have any of the trim pieces. We finally got both sides of that. Another set of good news, yesterday we actually did receive our seatbelts. So you guys can see here are both of the seatbelts. If you guys do remember, they were both locked with the accident happening. Alright guys, here we are in my garage. Excuse the mess, I know it's super dirty over here. It's kind of where I leave all the leftover parts, but one of the main parts that we did get is the quarter panel for the gray car. So you guys can kind of see that's where the tail light goes. So yeah, that's where the window goes. We got it brand new. So as you guys can see, we're pretty much, this is just the outer shell, so this is going to be replacing just the outer piece. Pretty much that is all crumbled up. Alright guys, as you guys can see here, we are going to be changing the suspension. So pretty much don't have any fender liner here yet, so let me try to see if I can get in there. You guys can see that. You guys can see that there. That thing is so bent, as well as the end link. So pretty much to disconnect this, we have to disconnect this bracket right here, get this bolt to drop down, and then we have the ball joint right down in there. So that bolt that goes up there, and then there is a last one right in here. Kind of hard to see on camera. As you guys can see, the brand new one from the dealer. This thing is brand new, as well as the end link. Obviously guys, you guys can see this is not the OEM wheel. Just had it temporary for right now, just because the other wheel was actually damaged. So take it off and see the damage. see here is the control arm, super bent. So dirty, so it's full of dirt right here, so it is a little harder to take everything off, but we are getting there shortly. Have a little harder access to it, so what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna remove this plastic trim right here. As you guys can see, it's pretty much just clips, 1, 2, and then there's 3 on the bottom, so just get yourself a flathead and pry those out. It'll make the job a lot easier. And so pretty much why I did that is it is giving us access to this last bolt right here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, that one right there. So just gives us better access to it. So we just disconnect it, not on this side, and the control arm just needs the one that goes under there, down here with the ball joint, and we should be good to go. So you guys, so this corner over here gets hammered, and then you just wiggle off the rest. Here you guys can see there is the broken controller. Alright guys, as you guys can see, we finally disassembled everything. Here they are side by side. Look at that. Those are both of the control arms and the end links. As you guys can see, this one was severely bent right here. Honestly, don't really know how that impact must have been pretty hard. I mean, look at this control arm. Honestly, when I first got the car, it was not this bad, but I did move it a little bit back and forth, whatnot, to wash it at first, and kind of damaged it a little more, but that shouldn't be a problem because we did get a brand new one here. So you guys can see, just transferred over the nut there, and we're gonna go ahead and pretty much now just transfer these onto the car, and we'll go from there. Guys, as you guys can see, we finally got everything assembled. Couldn't really record the second part just because I was pretty much moving back and forth. So pretty much on how I installed it, I actually did have to loosen these bolts right here. This one, mostly this one, didn't take any off, just loosened them. Just loosened this one. This one got loosened all the way just so it can have some play, the rotor or the spindle. And then pretty much what you want to do is you want to install this one and that one at the same time, and pretty much the ball joint, as you guys can see here, this thing pretty much just goes right in once those two are lined up. So the next thing I just need to do is put on that tray, and that'll be good. We finally got the wheel back on. Everything else is pretty much tightened up and ready to go. Obviously this isn't going to be the wheel setup we go with, but this is just a temporary wheel I have right now that actually happens to actually have air. Spare 86 wheel from the first gen, so it's pretty cool. Don't make that mistake that I did. Make sure when you are working on the suspension that both of the wheels are straight. So it was a little more trouble when I was installing that lower control arm, but everything should be good to go. Everything is tightened and we're good to go.